The Border Security Force will now have the power to carry on search, seizure, and even arrest up to 50 kilometers inside the international border. This could affect states of Assam, Punjab, Gujarat, Bengal, the northeastern states, as well as Rajasthan. Hello, everyone. I am Arunima. What we are discussing today is that if this decision of the union government, a matter of national security, something that is required for the sake of national security, or is it an infringement on the state's rights under the federal structure? To discuss this, I'm being joined by R.P. Singh, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, is here with me. And KBS Sidhu, former special secretary in government of Punjab and IAS officer who knows the state very well. Why we have all three of you is because Punjab has raised a lot of concern. Opposition parties in Punjab have said this is an infringement on the federal structure because law and order is a state subject. Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, let me give you the first chance to open up. This is a matter of national security. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has also objected. You can see out there Manish Tiwari, Sunil Jakhar, these are Congress leaders who are objecting. They're saying that this matter was unilaterally decided by the centre, and the centre must withdraw. The tweet that we are putting out is Sunil Jakhar's tweet, whereby he's saying that unwittingly central government is taking over what rightfully belongs to Punjab Police. Manish Tiwari, in fact, goes on to say that this order will ensure that half of Punjab will now be in the dominance of the border security force. Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, does Aam Aadmi Party concur?
See, there is another attack from the central government on this federal system. First attack was three BRAC laws, and now they are trying to again attack the federal system, attacking the rights of the state. And they're very clear about things. But I want to again add something into it. Captain Amrinder Singh is praised about this. He is not against it. So the action is very clear that Captain is trying to help BJP, or BJP is trying to help from Captain, and they know this is a border sphere, border state. And when in border state these kinds of things happen, the message is very clear. What they want to show, whether they want to show that the Punjab police is failing somewhere, what exactly they are trying to say. And BJP people wants to disturb Punjab again and again. And they know it is a border state. They know there's a tension. They know what Congress people are doing. And at the same time, they are trying to attack from another thing. They have nothing to do with anything. Their aim is clear that they want to win 2022 elections, and they want to create some kind of riots in the country. They want to make the re-terrorism enter into Punjab. They want that local people should come into the roads and jamming so that they can put an emergency in Punjab. That is all. They want to put a governor rule. So they want to rule Punjab by indirect methods. That is very clear on their side.
Is this only politics? Is the reason this has been done is because Punjab is a poll-bound state? Because opposition is also asking, in Gujarat, you've reduced it from 80 to 50. It's a state ruled by Bharatiya Janata Party.
Well, all what the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party said, did it had any substance? Just sheer politics, no substance. And then you're talking about Gujarat. Rajasthan has 50 kilometers, West Bengal has 50 kilometers, Assam is same 50 kilometers, Jammu Kashmir is the complete Jammu Kashmir, Punjab has been increased from 15 to 50 kilometers, so it's the case with Bengal also. So, but the problem is not with the BSF role going beyond 15 kilometers. I'll give you one example that will clarify my point. If there's a drone flying and there's an ongoing narrative being there that these drones come to Punjab and then they get drugs, they get ammunition, they get money also in Punjab through the drone. So if BSF guy is chasing that drone at 15 kilometers, he'll stop. He'll say local police should come and chase it now. It's laughable. And then it's matter of concern. I don't know why people, especially the political parties, and especially the Congress party, Aam Aadmi Party is just because of politics. But why Congress party? Is it because they have a friend across the border, Yar Dildar, whom Mr. Harish Rawat is on record saying that, oh, General Bajwa is our Punjabi bhai, Punjabi pra.
Right.
So what's the problem? The Indian West Bengal government is raising issue. They understand security concern, but yes.
But just want to point out, Mr. Singh, that TMC's Shaugato Rai has just reacted. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has also reacted. Let me just read out to you what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has said. He is saying that any chhedkani with what is the norm. This is the exact tweet. Expansion of BSF up to 50 kilometers from border of some state amounts to brazen infringement upon the territory of states. You should not indulge in any chherkhani, else face the consequences. So this is a Bengal Congress leader who's also, threatening. So it looks like the matter has now become purely political, no longer limited to national security. And on that note, I do want to bring in the only bureaucrat or the retired bureaucrat that we have in the panel, and then I'll come to both of you. KBS Sidhu, you've been, in charge of the helm of affairs at Punjab. BSF says that this is uniformity. It is not about 15, 50 or 80 across the country now, except for Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir, where the entire state will have mandate of BSF. Everywhere else, it's a uniform 50 kilometers, which has now been put in. It will be required for operational reasons, especially for Punjab, where narco smuggling, weapon dropping has been such a concern in the last few months. BSF says this was the need of the hour.
You see, I'll stick to the statutory provisions as well as the position on ground. And having served in Punjab Cadre, I also had the opportunity of being the Deputy Commissioner or the District Magistrate Amritsar in those very troubled days, 1992 to 96, and ADM before that, so 6 years tenure. And we were there in the middle of the things when the barbed wires was actually being set up and there were terrorist threats, and we had to pay premium money to the contractors to get the barbed wire and so on. Now, on a legal basis, the BSF Act and this notification has been in place. The BSF Act goes back to 1967, and it is nobody's case that the defense of India and the border management is definitely a matter of the union to take care of. Now, in the changed circumstances post the Taliban takeover, and when you have an increased push of drugs in massive quantities, which ultimately will be converted into money and used to buy people and weapons and so on. So here is a view which the government of India had to take. And the notification, as it applied to Punjab, already gave the BSF powers up to a border strip of 15 kilometers. Now, first of all, what is the powers that the BSF had? We should clearly understand that. And within the context, then we are increasing that from 15 kilometers to 50 kilometers. So
you mean the powers given under the Passport Act and under the NDPS Act?
No, let's be very clear, because those are central laws, and any other central laws which is an offense, it could be an NDPS, it could be even an IPC offense. What this notification says, which draws its strength from section 139(1) of the BSF Act, what it essentially says is that for two purposes. One is for the purpose of prevention of offenses under that act. So someone is trying to infiltrate, whether with gold contraband or whether drugs, whether it is a drone getting into the Indian airspace or cache of arms, infiltrators and so on. So with a view to prevent. And the other is once that offense actually has taken place with a view to apprehend. So those are the two key words which occur in section 131, 139(1). So what are those powers which have been given? There are three powers: arrest, B, seize, and search. So those powers are already there with Punjab Police also. So it is not as if draconian extrajudicial powers have been now conferred into BSF. So in a scenario at night where the BSF outpost sees an intruder or a drone or someone suspicious, then already within 15 kilometers, you had the powers of arresting, seizing and searching a vehicle or anything. Now that has been extended from 15 to 50 kilometers. So therefore...
And on that note, I want to bring in Dr. Sanu Ahluwalia. Dr. Ahluwalia, when the opposition is protesting, the bureaucrat on our panel has just explained, what this really means. Why should everything be seen from the prism of politics? If from 15, you've taken it up to 50 kilometers, it will only help people of Punjab keep them safe from weapons, from drugs. These are real crises. These are real problems for Punjab, isn't it? Pakistan is actually, in reality, trying to foment trouble in that border state.
Madam, see, when they say 50 kilometers, Punjab has all the border through the Pakistan. So when you talk about 50 kilometers, that means half of the state has gone. Whether have you been visited to these border areas? How BSF BSF is a good force, we know that. But at the same time, was the government of Punjab known this? It was everything like the three black laws, what they have done. The same thing
Yes.
happens here, without any consent, without talking to anybody, without any. They would have called all party meetings and they would have said that we want to apply this. You give your
If you
suggestion.
allow me,
Why there
I'll
is a
take that point to
traitorous right?
RPC. RPC,
Why there is a
unilateral,
traitorous kind of a
unilateral is what the charge against the center is. Even if you meant well, even if the Union Home Ministry meant well, what was the problem in taking into confidence the political parties in these states? Nobody would have really compromised on national interest, isn't it?
Well, there's a government in the Punjab, and they should ask the Punjab government whether they've given the consent or not. My sources say something else, and then that's why, because the man is not
Mr.
aware,
Channi
he's
has
just being.
actually tweeted against it.
Can I complete? Can I complete, please? Channi is the new chief minister. Let's see the record of the earlier chief minister also. And I said he is on record. He has been coming to meet home minister earlier, and had been on record saying that yes, there is a problem of the security as a border concern. He has raised this question again and again, and then he has spoken about drone also, and he's spoken about the arms and
Yes.
drugs coming through via drone. So this all things are on record. It's matter of record.
Hmm.
But the problem is
Hmm.
that with change of chief minister, they think, oh, the policy of the government will change, or the policy of the security concerns will the security concerns will change. That's not happening. And then again,
Right.
I'm saying they're all doing it only because they have some interest into it, and the interests are across the border. Whether it's Niranjan Chaudhary, whether it is Navjot Singh Sidhu, we all know where they have interests across the
Hmm.
borders, and they have friends across the border whom they want to safeguard, whose interest they want to safeguard.
All right, all right. RP Singh, Dr. Sunny Aliwalia, KBS Sidhu, thank you so much for taking time out. The big question we
Just
were trying to find answers
one
to.
point. If you could just give me half a minute to just
Sure, Mr.
supplement.
Sidhu. I'll give you the final
Under
word.
under section 139(1), as long as you're restricting the power of the BSF merely to arrest, search, and seizure, the concurrence or consultation of the state government is not
Not
necessary.
required.
Now,
Not required.
if you want to go beyond 139(2), that means after arresting, of course, there are constitutional provisions. You got to register an FIR, investigation has to begin, police remands, prosecution, trial, challan in the court, and so on, which would still, notwithstanding this notification, be done by the local police. So if a cache
Yes.
of arms is recovered by the BSF, the local police would register an FIR under the Arms Act and thenceforth take over the process of investigation and trial. The concurrence which is envisaged under 139(2) comes into place only if BSF would also, the central government would like to authorize the officers of BSF even to conduct the investigation and also set up their own prosecution agency, which is not the case. So right now,
Yes.
it is basically only restricted to the central laws being infringed, a variety of them, and arrest, search, and seizure.
This is exactly what BSF officers on the ground told me as well, that earlier, suppose they were chasing a smuggler, a narco smuggler, they would have to think, 15 kilometers, they could chase him, and to arrest or seize beyond that, they would have to ensure perfect coordination with the state police. Now they say this gives them a little more elbow room. And like
Absolutely.
I said, as per BSF, as per intelligence agencies, the threat of weapons, threat of narco, especially in Punjab, is actually a real threat looming large, in view of the elections that is coming. Pakistan could foment trouble, is what the intelligence agencies have said. Appreciate all three of you for taking time out and discussing this very sensitive issue. The consensus seems to be that if this was required in the interest of national security, there seems to be reason to believe that this was needed for national security. B, even if the opposition is objecting, I think what they're saying is, why didn't you take us along? To that also, there is a question whether Captain Amrinder Singh, as the Chief Minister of Punjab, had actually given his consent. So this politics will continue, but BSF is clear that this was much needed intervention from the center, which has come. Your views, you can engage with us on this. Do comment, do share what you think about this discussion and about this decision taken by the center. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.